Hey friends, what's up? Welcome to part 3 of my moving to LA vlogs. This is the final one, okay? So in the last vlog, I talked about my journey living in LA, how that went for me. It's a lot to recap, so just go check out the video. I will put the link in the description. Now we are talking about me being back in Pennsylvania. So let's just jump into it. This is actually my favorite part of the story, like my absolute favorite part. So when I moved back to Pennsylvania, it was September 29th, 2018. I moved home with literally my backpack, which had my computer in it, my cell phone, and the clothes that I had on my back. When I moved to LA, I left with 2 full suitcases and a carry-on and a book bag. So it was like, I literally lost everything in LA. So whenever I got home, I was angry, I was sad, I was broken, I was empty. Like, I was in the worst possible place that I could be when I got home. And even though all this stuff happened in LA that showed me I needed to leave and that it was the right decision to leave, I was still really upset because I had started to create a life there. No matter how shitty it was, I started to create a life. I had like friends. I use the term friends very loosely, but I had friends and I was in college, which I loved college. I loved being in school. I loved having something to do all day. I loved knowing so many people who did so many different things. I was just sad to be ending that part of my life and that it didn't end or go at all how I envisioned it. Like, not even a little bit. So I got home, did not leave my room for literally 4 months. I cried every day. I struggled with suicide. I struggled with, did I make the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? Should I have ever even gone to LA in the first place? Is God even real? That was a question that haunted me every single day whenever I got back to Pennsylvania. And that's nothing but the devil, because God carried me literally through that whole journey. But I have the devil in my ear like, well, if God loved you, why would he put you through that? If God loved you, why would he let you go through that? If God loved you, why didn't he save you? Like, these were constant questions. And I'd be like, you're right. Like, does he? So instead of running away from God, I started running towards God. So I started watching sermons. This is where I started reading my Bible. This is where I really began to open up to God. Like in LA, I would talk to God about like my struggles. And anytime prior to that, I'd only talk to God when I had a problem. This time, I didn't really have a problem. I did because I wasn't happy with where I was in my life, but I was home, safe, with my family, resting. I didn't realize how amazing and awesome that was until actually just recently. So I didn't have any real problems, but I had a lot of emotions and feelings and I guess these are all emotions. So at the end of the day, I had tons of emotions that I needed to work through. Like, I never got a chance to sit down and be upset or be sad or be happy or angry or whatever about any of the stuff that happened to me, because it was a constant grind. Like, it was constantly, you gotta be doing this, you gotta be doing this, you gotta do this, you gotta go here, you gotta go there, you gotta go shoot, you gotta go to school, you gotta go to work. Like, it was a constant grind. You never get a second to be like, really proud of myself for that short film I made last week, even though it sucks. I'm super proud that I just took the time to do it. Or like, super proud of myself for doing great in school. Like, that just didn't exist. So I had to deal with all that when I got home. So for 4 months, didn't leave my room, cried, talked to God, cried. When I finally started leaving my room, it was literally just to go downstairs on the couch, and I was so evil and angry, and I had this cloud of like anger over me, so my family would just go upstairs. So I would literally leave my room, go downstairs, sit on the couch, say nothing, everyone would disperse, and then I'd go back upstairs after about like 12 hours of laying on the couch watching Living Single, and my family just let me do it. Like, every once in a while, they'd be like, "Are you okay?" And I'd be like, "Shut up, like, stop talking to me." Like, literally, I didn't want to talk, okay? I didn't want to answer any questions about LA. I just didn't want to talk about it. And my family knew that, so I don't know why I was being so mean towards them. Like, they were just trying to understand where I was at. Like, they weren't trying to do anything evil or make me go through anything again. They were just trying to see, hey, mentally, emotionally, where are you? And I guess I answered, like, not in a good place with my bad attitude. Anyways, after I finished the Living Single series, which I've seen every episode already, I just rewatched it and re-laughed. That show actually seriously, like, made me laugh again. Like, I didn't laugh until I watched that show. Like, it's crazy. So, after watching that show, huge fan of Khadijah James, aka Queen Latifah, starting her own magazine or whatever. So that like got my brain working and started having me like think about stuff like, okay, you don't want to be here, you got to make a way out. Okay, you got to make a way. So I just like would write down stuff like that I wanted to work towards, or you know, whatever. So one day I sat down in my room on the floor and I just wrote down a list of things that I wanted. Like, it was just a couple little things. Like, I had one for all the ideas that I had that I want to pursue eventually, and then I had a list for things that I wanted because, you know, I had lost everything. So on this list, I wrote down that I wanted a 2-bedroom apartment. I wanted to live by myself. I wanted to have a cat. I even put the color of the cat. I said I wanted a small gray kitten. Inside of this apartment, I wanted a room filled with camera equipment where I could freely vlog without any interruptions, nothing, just me and my camera. And I said that I wanted financial stability. Okay, so these are the essential things that I said that I wanted. These were the things that were like, have to get this. This is what I need. So I spent a little while thinking it was just gonna fall out of the sky. Like, thinking God was literally just gonna be like, here's all that stuff you wanted and you've done absolutely nothing for it. You sat in here, moped all day. So yeah, let me just give you this stuff that you're not gonna use because you didn't work for it. Yeah, let me just do that. What? So I was like, you know what? I need to get up. I need to get out and I need to get a job. So I got up one day. It's like February now. No, it's the end of January. It's the end of January. So I've been home October, November, December, January. I've been home 4 months now, okay? I'm just now starting to leave the house, like to go to my grandma's. Like literally. And my family is like, you need to get a job. Like, you gotta get a job. And it wasn't even about money. Now that I think about it, they were telling me to get a job because I needed to get back into the world. I needed to socialize, to meet new people, start my life again. Like, I needed to stop wasting time. My uncle, his child's mom, is a supervisor at this call center near my city. Like, it's outside of my city, but it's just a couple minutes away. So he's like, yeah, they're hiring, they're starting whatever day. And I'm like, oh, I'll go check it out. And I end up getting hired. I tried the call center thing before. I literally quit in the middle of my shift, but fine, I'll work here. So I start the job in February and buy myself a camera, a tripod, some lights, like a little like rinky-dink setup. I wasn't making a whole lot of money. And after I buy all that stuff and like start just getting into photography again, like I start to feel alive. Like I'm like, wow, photography got me through being homeless. Like I'd go out and shoot for so long. So I just picked up my camera and I'd go out every single day and just take pictures of whatever. And then I started messing with video and making YouTube videos again. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like I'm finally starting to feel like myself again. So one day I woke up, saw my paycheck. I was like very stressed because I felt like all I was doing was working, and it's a call center, so I'm sitting all day listening to people complain, and it has these fucking orange walls. Like they are bright orange, and it just felt like prison, okay? And I was like not getting time to work on photography anymore because I got a new schedule. So I wasn't having time to just do the stuff that was making me feel alive again. So I was like, okay, saw my paycheck and I was like, you know what? I quit. So I quit the job. And my mom is like, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't, Mom. Like, but she understood because it's a call center, and she was like, whatever, thinking to herself, what am I going to do with this child? I don't know either, Mom. Then I didn't work for like a week or two, and then I got hired at Staples. Loved Staples. It was a part-time gig. I got paid weekly. And so at this job, I just like accumulated other little photography things and video things, like just little stuff. Cause you know, I was part-time making like $9 an hour, working 4 hours a day. My paychecks were like $130. All right. But I got paid every week. So it wasn't a huge deal. So I'd take that $130 and stretch that shit out. Okay. I'd get camera equipment, like stuff that I needed just for myself, and pay my bills on $130. And I did have bills. I had a credit card bill, I had a phone bill, I had to pay for my Adobe Cloud, like I had bills. So I used this $130 paycheck and made it work. And it wasn't hard to do because I had been broke before. So I was like, okay, like I can make this stretch. I'm the queen of a bargain. Trust and believe it. So eventually, in that job, I worked there for like 2 months, and I was like, okay, I kind of want to like see if I can get paid for freelance photography. Like, I just want to see if I can get paid for photography. So I was like, I'm gonna quit my job. So I quit my job at Staples, and I was like, okay, like pursuing a career as a starving artist, a photographer. So I went to work, put in my 2 weeks notice, which, Mom, if you're listening, I did not get fired, I quit. I told my mom I got fired because I was just like, she's so tired of me. So anyways, I go into work. It's whatever the last day of May is, or no, not May, April. Whatever the last day of April is, I can't remember if there's 30 or 31 days in April, but it's the last day of April, okay? So I go into work, tell my boss, like, listen, I'm out, you know, whatever. And he's like, you know, I completely respect and understand your decision. Like, I really do. So I'm like, cool. Doesn't matter if you did or not, because I was quitting, but thanks. I didn't tell him that. I was like, thank you, I really appreciate it. So then the next day, literally the next day. So while it was leading up to me putting in my 2 weeks notice, I felt like I kept getting signs to quit my job. And I was like, you know what? That could just be me ready to quit my job. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. And like, I almost did it. And then I backed out. And then I was like, you should have just went through with it. So when I finally quit, I had decided within myself, this is something that me and God were gonna try to pursue together, was this freelance photography thing. So literally the next day after I put in the 2 weeks notice, I wake up at 5 a.m. panicking. Like, it's May 1st and I immediately wake up like, it's May 1st. Like, it's May 1st. What have I done? We're almost halfway through the year. It is May 1st. And I'm just like going crazy, like absolutely bananas. And I'm getting ready to go to yoga class. I pull out my phone and I have a message from someone and he's like, hey, sorry to be super last minute, but it's my son's birthday tomorrow and I really want to get pictures of him. Someone else was supposed to do it. They canceled. Would it be possible for you to do the photo shoot today? I'm sorry for such a short notice and I kind of need the pictures tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, well, welcome to the world. I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I go to yoga and I am panicking and they're like, what is wrong? I'm like, I'm having a quarter life crisis. Like everything just changed overnight. I also was like registering within myself that I was about to be 21. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not a kid anymore. Like what is going on? Like the world just hit me on May 1st. So I do the photo shoot, get paid for it. He pays me more than I asked him for. And which is a tip, right? He tipped me. So then I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And so I started like doing photography. Money, super slow, like super slow. Photo shoots, far few and in between. I'm like not bringing in enough cash. Like I'm ready to move out of my mom's, first of all. And secondly, I live a very like extravagant kind of lifestyle. Like, you know, I go to yoga class, I pay for yoga class. I like to treat myself. I like to take care of myself. So when I can't do that, we've really got an issue. So I was like, yeah, I'm not bringing in enough money. And I just didn't want to feel like I was quitting on myself because it had only been like a month and a half. So it was now June, like the middle of June. And I was getting ready to go on vacation. So I was like, whatever, I'll go on vacation and decide when I get back. So my family and I would go on vacation to Florida. And while I'm there, taking pictures and stuff, and I'm just kind of like, I think I want to get a job. I'm like, all right, whatever. I was applying for jobs. I had this little job at the YMCA lined up to be a camp counselor, which, come on now. We all know I was going to quit that job. Like, forget them kids. Like seriously, I would have quit. I'm not even joking. And by the way, I love kids. So this YMCA job, I went to the interview before I went to Florida. They called me while I was in Florida and they're like, you know, whatever, you got the job. I'm like, cool. So a couple days later, I call them and I'm like, actually, I'm going to decline the job. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, cool. So I got offered like 3 other jobs while on vacation in Florida. And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually going to decline these jobs. You know, like after I'd already accepted them, I'd call back and be like, yeah, it's not going to work. Like, it's just not going to work. Why? I don't know. Like I wanted a job and I needed a job, but those jobs didn't feel like it. Okay. So I was like, you know, not telling my family what's going on. Like they're tired of this roller coaster. So one day I'm helping my mom's friend move, my sister and I, and she's like, hey, you know, the casino has a dealer school coming up. It starts in like July. My friend told me to apply, but I'm not going to. You should check it out. I had no idea what dealer school was. I didn't know what a dealer was. I was like, I don't know the first thing about a casino. Like I was still 20 at this time because my birthday is in August. So it was like July at this point. Or no, it's like the end of June. I'm lying. It's the end of June at this point. So I applied for the job and weeks go by, like weeks. And I'm like, okay, dang, you could have let me know. I'm like, geez, you're saying on here you need people, but you haven't called me. Like, I'm confused. So the class starts on July 9th, I believe. It was like July 9th or 10th. And it's now July 1st, something like that. And finally they call me and I'm like, hey, like, hi. And they're like, oh, we've tried to call you. This was our 3rd time. This was the last time we were going to call. Come up for an interview this day. I'm like, okay. So it's like the Monday before it starts. It starts on a Friday. So I'm like, okay, whatever, go up there. They're like, math, you got to take a math test. I'm like, oh, no, this job is not for me. What are you talking about, math? And they're like, no, like, it's basic math. Like, just relax. I'm like, I don't care it's math. So they're like, no, just take the test. So I take the math test, which was not very difficult. I did get stumped on a few, got some help, got the job. Again, no idea what this shit is. So I'm like starting the classes and my family's like, keep this job. Like there were several people who came to me like, you need to keep this job. You're going to make money like this. You're going to have fun. It fits your personality. You need to stay here. Like stick it out. I'm like, I'm going to, geez. And they're like, no, seriously, like stay there. And I'm like, okay. So I start finding out like what a dealer is and stuff like that because I'm in blackjack class now. And I'm like, you know, doing all this stuff, whatever, going through the class. I'm starting to kind of like it. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. So then I start doing the job and I see like how much money I'm making when I finally get a full paycheck. And I'm like, financial stability. This is financial stability. Like I was only part-time at the time too. And I was just glad that it was enough for me to like do things. Like it provided me freedom and options. So I proceeded to take roulette class and craps class. So now I deal blackjack, the carny games at our casino, roulette and craps. And now I'm promoted to full-time. So one of my coworkers tells me about an apartment because I was like letting them know like I'm looking to move. And he's like, oh, dude, actually the place above me is empty and it's blah, blah, blah a month. I'll put you in touch with my landlord. So I talked to the landlord. He's like, it's not going to be ready for a little bit, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, fine. You know, take your time, but don't really take your time. So during this time, I start putting away the money to move in. I'm like, all right, your girl's moving. This is my place. I just knew it. I was like, this is my place. I'm going to pay for it myself. It's something I can afford. I make enough money. I have a good enough job. I'm guaranteed hours. Like, this is awesome. You know, like this is super awesome. So a couple weeks go by. I make sure that I keep reaching out to the landlord because I want him to know I'm serious. I really want this place. And so he does what he does, and I move in November. So the end of November, I believe it was, I moved into my own place, paid for it myself, and then my neighbor, so there's two of them, the guy told me about the apartment, and so the girl who also works with us, like her and I are cool too. So I go down there one day, like this is the day that I just got my keys and I'm like going to spend my first night in my place and I'm like nervous. Didn't have any furniture or anything. So I was like, I don't want to stay in an empty house. So I go down and hang out with her and she's like, so hey, I was visiting my mom and there were like these cats and blah, 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 some whole story. And so bottom line is she took one and she's like, I don't know like what I'm going to do with this cat. And I was like, can I have it? And she's like, yeah, do you want to meet her? Like, I haven't even met the cat. She brings out this little kitten and she's like, yeah, this is her. My mom has been calling her Squeaker. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll take her. Actually, let me go get Squeak. Here's Squeak. She actually hates being touched and held, but it's okay. She is the calmest, sweetest kitty, but it blows me because I said my cat was going to be gray and she's gray. Right. She's like, put me down. Leave me alone. She was literally relaxing and I'm like, wait, you have an appearance. Please come. Say hi, Squeak. Look at her. Oh, I'm about to fall. Say hi, Squeak. Hi, Squeak. Okay. She doesn't love me. Okay. I just love her. So yeah, there I got Squeak from my neighbor. I found my apartment through my neighbor. I have camera equipment now. I'm actually like looking to upgrade it at this point. Like things are happening. So again, I said I didn't have any furniture or anything. This is my favorite part of the story. So remember whenever I lived in LA, my landlord threw away all of my stuff. And when I came back from LA, I had nothing, like nothing but my backpack, the clothes I had on, and my computer. So when I move into this place, my family literally gives me an entire house. Like, I'm not even joking. The whole house. I paid for nothing. The only thing I bought in my house is my camera equipment, because that's my thing, you know, and my microwave. I have a fully furnished house. I'd love to show you, but I'm not going to. I'll show you guys in another vlog. I'll do like a tour of my apartment. Oh, that's a good idea. So I'll do a tour of my apartment in another vlog on another day. But anyways, they gave me my entire house, like my couches, my beds, the few pictures I do have up. I really need to like get on decorating. My TVs, like everything. They gave me an entire house. And I was like, that is how great God is. Like, they threw away all my stuff and I got all of it back times 10. Like, I have upgraded my camera equipment like 5 times now, and although I'm on the quarantine or whatever right now, I'm not worried, because I went through that season of my life where shit was a struggle and I know I'm gonna be okay. So I'm not worried. I'm super happy as a person. Like, where I am right now, people tell me all the time I radiate happiness and good vibes, and people cling to me because I'm so happy and positive. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have my bad days. Like, I have bad days and I still get angry. I'm still human, you know, like I'm still a human being. But for the most part, I am a very positive, happy, vibrant human being. And I love it this way. Like, if I hadn't left LA, I would not have my own camera equipment because I was using the schools and my old roommates. Like, I wouldn't have my own camera equipment. I wouldn't have my own apartment. I wouldn't have my cat. I wouldn't have a job that I love. I literally love my job. Like, it fits me perfectly. Like, I wouldn't have a life that I love. I wouldn't be surrounded by people who genuinely love me. Like, genuinely care about my well-being. It's crazy. It is crazy. And my appreciation for my family now, huge. Before, I did not appreciate them, but now I'm like, those are my people, man. Like, they are it. Like, they deserve it. When I finally make it one day, they will be taken care of. Okay? But right now they need to know I ain't got it like that. Okay? Okay, so yeah. It all worked out. It built character. It's taught me to trust in God. It's taught me to trust in myself and my instincts, because my instincts led me a lot of the way. It's taught me, you know, to be by myself, which is the most important thing, to be alone. I don't need someone here constantly. I don't need someone constantly pumping me up, cheering me on, telling me you're doing amazing. Now, that stuff is awesome. I believe in positive encouragement and reinforcement. I'm just saying, I don't need it. Like, I'm still going to be me, do me, be who I am, with or without the world's validation and with or without someone beside me. Like, it does not matter, because I spent all that time alone. Being alone is not an issue. I actually love it. I've grown to really love myself and my own company. So this whole journey, it was jacked up, okay? And I went through some stuff. But what happened on the other side, who came out on the other side, was so worth it. Like, if I had to start all over and do it again, I would do it again. I'd go through every night where I cried and cried and cried and was angry and sad and lonely. I'd do it all again. Because the person that I am is insane. I never thought I could reach this level of growth, and I only have more to go. Like, I only am going up from here. It's amazing. So yeah, I wanted to come share that story with you guys, this journey with you guys. I really hope you enjoyed. It was a bit lengthy, a lot longer than I intended for it to be, but I really don't care. Thank you guys for watching, for sticking through 3 parts of my long journey of the LA move. I really appreciate it, guys. I really do. Thanks again, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you girlies and boys later.